Welcome to Arena Breakout Infinite, a modern extraction shooter that takes the traditional formula and elevates it with updated mechanics, improved graphics, and quality of life features, making the genre more accessible than ever, all for free on Steam. After 1,500 hours of playtime over the past year through the game's development, I'm excited to finally share with you my complete beginner guide to ABI. My goal for this video is to compile the most useful info you absolutely need to know day zero of ABI in a short and to-the-point manner. So, what exactly is Arena Breakout Infinite? At its core, it's an online tactical shooter built around squad-based gameplay with the option to play alone or in smaller groups if you choose. Each match, called a raid, drops you onto a map with about 4 to 6 other teams where you'll fight over valuable loot and race to escape through one of the several extraction points before the timer runs out. Multiple teams can extract, so this isn't a last man standing battle royale style game. And the catch, almost everything you bring into raid can be lost on death, with other players free to take your gear and profit from it. This creates a high stakes risk versus reward loop where you can leave rich or lose it all trying. While Arena Breakout Infinite has many hardcore shooter elements, it also includes arcade style mechanics to make gameplay more accessible. There's no friendly fire and you have HUD that shows your teammates' positions at all times. You can place in-game markers to highlight enemies' locations for your squad, and separate map markers to direct teammates across the map. You have an in-game map that shows you many things like loot locations and all available extract points. You can also revive downed teammates, though a headshot will kill them instantly, and any gear or supplies you extract with that your teammate brought in will be mailed back to them. ABI is a live service game with seasonal updates that bring major changes every few months, including new maps, weapons, skins, balance adjustments, and more. The game is constantly evolving, so it's hard to predict what it will look like even a year from now. Many of the team mechanics I just spoke about weren't in the game just 6 months ago, for example. In ABI's current state, players can choose between 3 main modes: normal, lockdown, and forbidden. Just think of them as easy, medium, and hard. These modes mainly affect 3 things: the quality of loot, the level of PvP difficulty, and the entry requirement. Normal mode has no entry fee, you can even spawn in with just a knife, but it offers the weakest loot. To keep PvP fair for beginners, it also enforces a gear cap of 450k coin and spawns fewer real players compared to the higher modes. Another quirk of normals is the presence of fake squads, AI that mimic real players complete with dog tags and all. In lockdown, you'll encounter fewer of these fake players, and in forbidden, you'll only be facing real player squads. As a new player, you'll begin in normal mode where the game eases you in with mostly bot opponents during your first few hours. Once you reach level 10 and unlock lockdown mode, PvP encounters become more frequent and the difficulty slowly ramps up. The max level in ABI is 30, taking roughly 20 to 30 hours to reach, and until then, you'll primarily be matched against other new players or bots. At level 30, the training wheels come off and the game becomes far less forgiving. ABI doesn't have ranked or a skill-based matchmaking. While there is a separate rank system, it's more of an achievement tracker than a competitive ladder. When your boots hit the ground for the first time in ABI, you'll find yourself in the tutorial. This takes place on a closed-off section of the map farm, and the game will guide you through some of the basic mechanics. Nothing you loot in this tutorial can be brought out with you, so don't worry about loot, just get familiar with the controls and the game's mechanics. While we're on the topic of controls, let me give you a few control settings that everyone should be using. Enabling focal point adds a crosshair which can help with hipfire and general crosshair placement. Just keep in mind, your barrel sways in this game and it won't always line up with the crosshair's center. The crosshair is more of a guide than a precise aiming tool, so I would say it's optional. Double-click left mouse button to move items is a setting that should always be turned off in my opinion. This allows you to double-click items to inspect them instead, which is far more useful. Under your HUD, you can set all of the HUD to always show or auto-display when that's not an option. This will give you full HUD information while playing. For mouse sensitivity, I recommend keeping your regular mouse and aiming sensitivities the same. This helps build muscle memory and keeps your sensitivity consistent whether you're hip-firing or aiming down sights. Sensitivity is obviously preference. My setup is 0.55 at 400 DPI, but a general rule of thumb is that a full 12-inch swipe across your mousepad should turn your view about 180 degrees and at most 360. So for example, I can only do a 180 degree turn in a 12-inch swipe. If your swipe rotates you more than 360 degrees, your sensitivity is way too high, a common mistake among new players. If you want to lower your sense specifically for high-powered optics, you can do that in the drop down below. By default, your lean left and right will be set to toggle, and I recommend absolutely everyone switch their lean to hold as it's much more fluid and requires less input. The game also includes a free look feature, and I recommend binding it to the middle mouse button or Alt since the default combination can feel awkward. You'll also need to rebind the mark function, which I suggest putting on a mouse button. Mine is set to mouse 5. Those are all the main controls to help get you started and build good habits. If you'd like my full graphics and settings, I'll have a link down below in the description where you can copy the settings I use. So after the tutorial, you'll be ready to queue up into your first real raid on the map Farm. When queuing into a raid, you have a few options to toggle, which we'll go over now. The first option, activate rank points, determine whether you'll earn points toward your rank or not. This option doesn't affect who you queue with or how difficult the raids are. There's almost no reason not to keep this turned on. Auto match allows you to get matched with random teammates when turned on. Keep in mind though, it doesn't guarantee teammates. Sometimes you'll spawn alone. Low ping preference queues you into your closest game server with the lowest ping. Loot priority is an anti-griefing feature. When it's enabled, teammates can't loot your kills or any key rooms you've opened for 300 seconds. You should keep this turned on unless playing with friends. This will help you find out if they're your true friends or not. Show outfit is purely a visual setting for you and your teammates. This will toggle if your outfits hide armor or not, and it doesn't affect enemy visuals. You'll always see your enemy's armor. You can also try to find teammates through the team feature at the bottom right, which allows you to apply to join other players' lobbies. This can be very hit or miss as most of these players are either sitting AFK or they aren't looking for teammates to play with, so you might end up wasting your time. When you get into raid, you'll have an in-game map that you can bring up by pressing M. The in-game map is an incredible quality of life feature that will be your lifeline for making it to an extraction point. All available extraction points are marked on the map as a running icon, but not all extracts are equal. Some extracts require you complete a task to use, some require Cohen, some require you to pull a lever, and others can only be used without a backpack on. Worry not though, you can click on each extract and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do in order to use it. For some extracts, like on TV station or armory, it'll even direct you to where the lever is you'll need to pull to activate the extraction. If that's a little overwhelming, the easiest extracts you can take will be green. The green extracts are guaranteed and they don't require you to do anything to use them. Simply march your way over to a green extract and you can leave safely. If you don't make it out of one of these extraction points before the in-raid timer runs out, you'll go MIA and lose all your gear. There's a few other items you'll find marked on the map, the first being orange safes. Orange safes are free safes on the map that can contain red items. These are the rarest items in the game that sell for over 1 million Cohen. Be careful as you get near these safes as they're hotspots for PvP. The orange exclamation points are your quest markers for any active quests you have going. There's a similar exclamation point that has a star next to them. These are minigame quests you can accept mid-raid, but they only offer a little bit of cash and are often not worth doing. The white recycling bin is a supply retrieval device. There's a few of these on each map and become accessible after eliminating one operator. You can only use one per raid, but anything you drop into these will safely get mailed back to you, allowing you to secure some items, shed weight, and free up inventory space. The white electricity symbol is your in-raid supply station. You can access these to top up on supplies and utility, but at a heavily marked up price. You can also buy a new UAV device for 200k, which allows you to scan specific areas of the map and will highlight red if any enemy operators are in the scanned zone. Something very useful in ABI that will help you get better at PvP is understanding player spawns. For this, I'll link a map resource down below in the description that will show you all player spawns on each map, and you can use this game knowledge to predict where players will come from early into the raid. As you're learning the game and playing your first raids, it's a good idea to start questing right away. You'll find your quests, also called missions, in the main menu under the missions tab. There are currently 2 quest lines, season missions and regular missions. You can work on both at once, just accept any available orange missions, and once you've completed the objective, it will turn green and be ready for turn in. Missions are worth doing as they grant large amounts of XP to help you level up faster, along with extra rewards like money and secure containers. Every player has a secure container located in your inventory beneath your backpack. Items stored in these are safe. You won't lose them on death. Most players keep things like ammo, meds, or valuable loot you might find in raid inside. Everyone starts with a small 1x2 container, but there's multiple ways to upgrade it. The easiest upgrade is through elite membership, which you can buy with real money. Basic elite plan for $5 a month gives you a 2x2 container, while the premium elite plan for $10 a month gives you a 3x2. These memberships also include extra perks like more market listings, a larger keychain, and increased storage space. For all my free-to-play players, you'll be happy to hear that the largest container in the game, a 3x3, can't be bought. It's unlocked by completing the seasonal missions. You can also earn basic elite trial cards through missions, giving you temporary access to bigger containers and skipping the need to pay with real money. ABI doesn't lean on pay to win. Nearly everything can be unlocked for free. To activate trial cards, open bundle coupons in your storage at the top right and navigate to trial card item. By talking to Evita in your contacts, you can also buy permanent storage and keychain expansions with in-game currency. Again, another upgrade free-to-play players can grind for. So while paid membership offers convenience, you can still expand your stash, keychain, and container size entirely for free just by playing and completing missions. They've also removed the option to purchase coin with real money, and so any pay-to-win accusations are just ridiculous at this point, as the developers have done a great job keeping things fair for all. Since we're already talking about keychains, let's cover how keys work. You can usually buy them on the market, though they also drop in raids. Each key corresponds to a specific locked room on a map, and those rooms almost always contain a safe. You can store keys in your keychain, which is safe from death. Each key has durability that decreases with use. 1 use in normal mode, 2 in lockdown, and 3 in forbidden. Keys can be pricey on the market, but are usually worth the investment since safes are one of the best money makers in ABI. The exception is maybe TV Station, where keys tend to be overpriced. To see which keys are useful for the map you're playing, click the map icon in the bottom right corner of the main menu. This brings up a guide showing every safe location and which key grants you access to it. Just click the paper icon to see safe locations and use the arrows to cycle through areas with multiple locked doors. Overall, keys are one of the most fun and reliable ways to make money in ABI, so I recommend every new player start with at least one solid farm key, like Motel 201, and begin looting safe rooms early on. Moving on to gameplay tips. You'll need to know how much ammo is left in your mag after firing. You can press Alt plus T to do a mag inspection, which will indicate in the bottom right corner roughly how much ammo is left in your mag. If you have a backup mag in your rig, you can press R to reload with it. You can top up mags in your rig by pressing Alt plus V, which will automatically load mags in your rig with the highest tier ammo available. You can hold Alt plus V and hover over an ammo to manually select which ammo is loaded into your mags. You can also load mags by dragging ammo into the mag. You can even load ammo directly into your gun by dragging the ammo over it. Just keep in mind, packing your gun is slower than packing mags in your rig. You can switch your weapon's firing mode by pressing B, and you can check your weapon's current firing mode with Alt plus B. For weapons without detachable magazines, you can unload them by right-clicking and selecting Eject Magazine. You can drop your backpack by double-tapping X, which will help you regain mobility when overweight. You can also utilize this with a bag hopping method to travel faster if you're over encumbered. Just press F to pick up your bag and immediately sprint and jump before the bag is fully picked up. Repeat this and you're now bag hopping like a pro. You can use free look, which I had you bind to middle mouse earlier, to freely look around and gather info while running in a straight line. If your helmet has a face shield that's obscuring your vision, you can press N to toggle it up and down. If you're injured and need to heal quickly, tap V. The game will automatically use the most effective medical item for your wounds. You can hold V to bring up a medical wheel and manually choose to use any of the heals available in your rig or pockets. You can press G to quick pull out a grenade. If you hold G, you can hover over the utility wheel and select the throwable of your choice. On every map, you have a random chance encountering a different boss with a group of guards defending them. Bosses have higher chances of spawning on more difficult modes, and the boss is worth killing as they'll usually have good ammo, armor, and a valuable item in their dog tag slot. The last gameplay tip I want to mention is you likely won't run into any real enemy players until about levels 9 or 10. If you get bored early on and want to skip to the PvP, focus on speedrunning your quests and extracting to level up as fast as possible. Soon enough, you'll be dying to the chads like the rest of us in no time. Next up, I'll help you with inventory management tips. When looting or storing some weapons, you can reduce their size by pressing middle mouse to fold the stock. Some weapons also shrink in height with the mag removed. For storage purposes, you can remove the grips on weapons to also reduce their height. You can press X to quick drop items. You can press F to quick loot items or equip items rather than having to drag them to your inventory manually. Mini weapons are often too big and inefficient to store in your backpack. You can double click a weapon to inspect it and hover over its attachments and press F on any valuable attachments to quickly strip the weapon of its valuable parts. You can hover over every item in the game to get an estimate of its market price. This is how you determine if an item is worth picking up. Generally, I won't pick up anything under 10k per square, but for new players, you could drop this number down to 5k per square. Some rigs and backpacks add space to your bag if left unfolded inside. You can check the space within a bag or rig by double clicking into details. The Wrap Simple chest rig, for example, holds 14 slots, but you can see it only takes up 9 squares. Keeping this in your backpack will add an additional 5 spaces. You can also stack bags inside each other to save and sometimes even add space. There's a limit, however, of 3 bags deep. trying to stack a fourth bag will give you an error. You can roll up bags and rigs by dragging them and pressing F at the same time. If you hover over a gun, mag, or ammo in your storage, compatible guns, mags, and ammo will be highlighted in green. If you right-click and link search an item, the market will show you other compatible items. For example, you can link search a helmet to find compatible visors. In ABI, there's little purpose to collecting or hoarding items. If you don't plan on using something in the next couple of raids, I would suggest selling it. There's two ways to sell items, on the market or to your contacts. Most items will sell for more on the market, the two exceptions being most red and gold items. You can quick sell golds and reds to contacts rather than waste them on market slots. Just make sure to double check because some golds, like boss items, do sell for more on the market. When selling something like a gun with multiple parts, all parts will be automatically listed on the market individually. The problem with this is many of the parts are junk and you only have limited market slots. You can fix this by adjusting the sell to contact value down at the bottom left. I recommend setting this number to at least 5,000 and then checking the box next to it. What this will do is automatically sell any parts under 5,000 Coin directly to your contact rather than waste precious market slots. To ensure items sell quickly on the market, you can click the minus button once, followed by the plus button. This will undercut the market price just slightly while retaining most of the profit. There are three main types of healing items in ABI. The first is HP heals, which restore health to your body and limbs and can also stop bleeding. The second is surgical kits. When a limb takes enough damage and goes to zero, it becomes blacked out and cripples your mobility. Surgical kits restore these limbs, making them usable and able to be healed again. The last type of healing item is painkillers. They temporarily negate the effects of blacked limbs, clearing your vision and letting you aim, walk, and sprint without the usual penalties. These are great to use before a fight as the side effects of a blacked limb can be deadly. There are also three types of stimulants, each available in two tiers. Strength stims let you sprint while carrying up to 85 kilos. Endurance stims increase your sprint duration and speed up stamina recovery. And finally, regens passively heal your limbs to full. The higher tier versions boost these effects and last longer. As for grenades, M67 frag grenades do standard armor damage and have the largest explosion radius. MK2 frag grenades have the highest armor damage but a smaller explosion radius. And GHO grenades do no armor damage but can damage and disorient players through walls and hard cover. All grenades have the same fuse time and throw distance this season. I'm going to keep this next section, ammo and armor, very simple for you, but these are the most important systems to understand in order to perform well in PvP. In ABI, ammo is king. The first thing you should invest in when considering a kit is good ammo. Your armor and gun will simply not win you fights if your ammo is not first up to par. I've come up with a general guideline to help you perform well in the three different modes. Starting with normal mode, tier 3 purple ammo and tier 4 armor are recommended to stay competitive. Don't buy tier 3 armor as it's simply not worth the price. You can always come into raid naked and loot armor off bots and players if you can't afford tier 4. In lockdown, it's recommended you come in with tier 4 gold ammo and tier 5 armor at minimum. In Forbidden, I recommend you come in with tier 5 ammo, a tier 6 helmet, and a tier 5 or tier 6 body armor. You can cut costs by top loading 10 to 20 bullets of the recommended ammo and securing the rest in your container. You don't need full mags of the ammo I've recommended, you just need 10 to 20 bullets top loaded. If you're using a DMR or bolt action sniper, I recommend going up one tier on each ammo recommendation. You can save money on armor in the market by selecting the drop down at the top right and changing the armor's durability to like new or worn. If you see an enemy with a tier 5 or tier 6 armored face shield, unless you have a very high pen ammo, it's recommended you aim for their torso as it's an easier target to zero out. Higher tier helmets will tank nearly just as many shots as body armor, making it impractical to go for headshots. Headphones are highly effective at helping you hear other players and gunshots. The more money you spend, essentially, the better your hearing. I recommend new players start with the M32 tactical headset and upgrade when their budget allows. You can make passive income without even playing by checking your contact Deke Vincent daily. He'll trade you a random assortment of items, often under market value. You can refresh his page 3 times per day for new items. To see if an item is worth flipping, first check the exchange price Deke is offering. Then close out and click the magnifying glass on the item to see its current market value. If the market value is worth more than Deke's exchange price, then you can buy the item from Deke for cheap and turn around and sell it on the market for a profit. Many of your contacts also offer trades which can save you money on armor, ammo, and guns. You can trade a cotton, for example, to Deke for a 926 tier 5 composite armor, which will save you almost 200k. Your trophy room is essentially the hideout in Escape from Tarkov, which you can upgrade for benefits. Your workbench will allow you to craft ammo, which is the only way to obtain tier 6 and tier 7 red ammo. If you plan on sniping or using DMRs, you should rush upgrades on this as soon as possible and start crafting red ammo. You can also craft a self-revive kit, thermal goggles, and the best tier 6 armor. The workbench unlocks some of the most overpowered items in the game and is well worth the investment. Other than these few items though, the game's market is fully unrestricted and you can buy basically everything in the game starting from day one. The Gunsmith is where you'll customize your weapons. Here you can view weapon stats and improve them with attachments. The higher a stat, the better the weapon performs. For full auto guns, prioritize vertical and horizontal recoil. For DMRs and snipers, focus on ergonomics and stability. One of the most important stats is firing power. Higher firing power means more damage. Longer barrels generally boost this stat, so I recommend upgrading the barrel first for maximum damage. Weapons also have an effective range measured in meters. Once you shoot past that range, bullets instantly deal 30% less damage, and that reduced damage stays consistent at all further distances. ABI also has a shooting range. You can test and build weapons in the shooting range without buying them, and you'll have unlimited ammo while inside. In the Gunsmith, just click the shooting range button under your gun to enter. At the back wall, the workbench lets you pull items from storage, open the Gunsmith, or choose magazines and ammo. You can also toggle infinite stamina and ammo here. On the range floor, the control panel adjusts the armor tier worn by the dummies. The TV screen shows your results, flesh damage dealt, distance in meters, whether the armor was pierced, and the exact hit location. I talked about modes early on in this video, but I left out a few details. There's more modes than just the 3 core squad modes I mentioned. For starters, there's solo ops. This is the solo mode, but it's only available on 1 map per week, features the hardest difficulty, forbidden, and requires level 30. It's also home to some of the sweatiest players in the game. It is not beginner friendly at all, and you should be ready to run into full tier 6 meta HK kits. There's also limited time modes, which are often changing. Secure Ops is one of the popular beginner modes as it allows you to keep your gear on death. The only items you'll lose are consumables, ammo, and throwables. The catch being you'll receive only 40% of whatever value you extract with, as coin mailed back to you after the raid. You don't keep 100% of what you earn. There's also modes like Arsenal, which is essentially a team deathmatch. And the last mode currently available is Covert Ops. This allows you to spawn in as a scavenger with a free kit. The other AI on the map will not be hostile toward you, and anything you extract with, you keep. So it's actually great risk-free money. Now, I'd give you guys a fancy outro, but I've been working on this script for like 20 hours straight, and I'm about to pass out. So, subscribe or don't. I'm live on Twitch all the time. Go follow me there. And yeah, good night. I hope this was helpful.